I dream a world where man no other man will scorn. I have a dream for this country. I imagine you do too. It looks very different than the nightmare we've been living through this fall, in which scorn for men and women is heaped up so high it's hard to see the glass ceiling some of us are hoping we will soon break through. But we wake up from nightmares, and dreams live on and on. Just ask a Cubs fan this morning. I dream a world where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. We're not the first to dream of such a world, of course. Some dreams have been around since those 12 famous apostles. Jesus went beyond all other teachers in his time, calculating a universal philanthropy, not only to kin and friends, but to all humanity, uniting all with the bonds of love in one family. Philanthropy means literally the love of humankind. Do you dream of a world where philanthropy is the law of the land and wretchedness will hang its head? If you do, then perhaps you believe in the religion of Jesus, not the religion about Jesus, as many do who attend All Souls. We are not the first to dream. The women who have run for president before this election also dreamed of a different world. They dreamed of a world where all will know sweet freedom's way. So on this historic Sunday, 2 days before our national election, it feels fitting to remember them. Here are their names. Victoria Woodhull, 1872, ran with the Equal Rights Party. She was white. Belva Lockwood, 1884, National Equal Rights Party, white. Gracie Allen, 1940, Surprise Party, white. Margaret Chase Smith, 1964, Republican Party, white. Linda Jennis, 1972, Socialist Workers' Party, white. Shirley Chisholm, 1972, Democratic Party, black. Margaret Wright, 1976, the People's Party, white. Ellen McCormick, Right to Life Party, white. Sonia Johnson, 1984, the Citizens Party, white. Lenora Fulani, 1984, New Alliance Party, white. Elvina Lloyd Duffy, 1996, Democratic Party, white. Carol Mosley Brown, 2004, Democratic Party, black. Cynthia McKinney, 2008, Green Party, black. Roseanne Barr, 2012, Peace and Freedom Party, white. Yes? A candidate from 2012 is missing from the list. Also missing is Ovida Hubby, who was encouraged to run in 1960 by outgoing President Dwight D. Eisenhower, but she decided not to. She must have been a very smart woman. She was the first Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, the first Director of the Women's Army Corps, and a chairperson of the board of the Houston Post. As I said, she must have been a very smart woman. She reminds me of something FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was our 32nd president and who won a record 4 terms in office, said. FDR said, "Government is ourselves and not an alien power over us." I like remembering the women who wanted to be president before their time for 2 reasons. 1, they dreamed a world no one has seen before. And 2, they knew that government was not an alien power, but themselves. Did you have any idea that 14 women had run for president and received over 30,000 votes in a primary, one of the criteria for getting on that list I just read you? Did you know? I'm sad to say that I didn't know either. If we added the women who also ran for president but received fewer than 30,000 votes, we would have 19 more names, which adds up to 33 women who have run for president before today. These women were brave and strategic. They dreamed a world in which joy, like a pearl, attends the needs of all mankind. Victoria Woodhull's running mate was Frederick Douglass, freed slave, great writer, and influential statesman, among many other things. Ms. Woodhull was the first woman to ever run for president. The first, but not the last. She not only dreamed there was a better way, she was determined to make a better way by writing herself and all other women back into a covenant that tried to keep women out. Here's what I mean. Victoria Woodhull's response to the fact that she and other women were denied the right to vote was to deny the denial. She argued, and she was the first woman to ever petition Congress in person, that women already had the right to vote. Women didn't need to organize or fight to earn it, she said. All they had to do was use it, she insisted, since the 14th and 15th Amendments guaranteed the protection of that right for all citizens. She felt the power of those words in our Constitution, our national covenant, if you will, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. And she heard herself included. So she fought for the inclusion of all women in the work of governing this nation. Unfortunately, she didn't win her argument, but the power of her very first public appearance catapulted her into leadership, which is even more impressive when you hear about her upbringing. Born in Ohio of an illegitimate and illiterate mother, she was sexually abused by her father. Married at 15, she bore 2 children, then divorced her unfaithful and alcoholic husband. She did all this in an era when divorced women were stigmatized and ostracized by society, a time when women who tried to assert their rights were shunned and shut out, if not worse. Instead, Woodhull rose above. In a speech in New York City in 1871, she said, "To woman by nature belongs the right of sexual determination. When the instinct is aroused in her, then and only then should commerce follow. When woman rises from sexual slavery to sexual freedom into the ownership and control of her own sexual organs, a man is obliged to respect this freedom. Then will this instinct become pure and holy." A world I dream of, where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man and woman is free. After her divorce, she grew closer to her sister, and together they became the first women stockbrokers on Wall Street ever. Very successful ones. Simply said, the sisters made a fortune. I dream a world where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. With that money, she and her sister started a newspaper, writing primarily about feminism, short skirts, sex education, and vegetarianism. However, a few days before the presidential election in which she was running, Woodhull was arrested on charges of obscenity. Seems she had published an account of the affair between her local minister, who was married, and who objected in his sermons to her philosophy of free love, and one of his parishioners. Federal marshals arrested Woodhull, her sister, and her husband. The charge was of publishing an obscene newspaper. The arrest was arranged by Anthony Comstock, the self-appointed moral defender of the nation at the time. All three of them spent 6 months in jail. None of the three were allowed to vote, and the trial in 1875 resulted in a hung jury. All this despite the fact that people raised questions about censorship and government persecution. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way. What world have you dreamed of? It is possible that we are about to elect the first woman president of the United States of America. It's certainly more likely than it has ever been before. Will it make any difference to Woodhull and to all the other women who ran and the thousands who organized and demonstrated and suffered for the right to vote for more than 100 years? Absolutely yes, it will. If it happens, it will be an affirmation that women are indeed created equal, regardless of party and partisan politics. It will add depth and breadth to our national covenant, our Constitution. It will make a difference to our daughters and granddaughters who will grow up with a new sense of what's possible in their own lifetimes. And it will make a difference to men, too, who will be free to explore more options for meaningful work and to embrace a wider range of appropriate roles at home and in society than ever before. Freedom for one begets freedom for the other. Our sense of gender identity and sexual orientation, of what's possible and of what's not, will continue to expand. But of course, this morning, we don't know the outcome of the election. Although my friends, many of whom are your friends, are posting predictions aplenty on Facebook. But besides looking at Facebook, I've been remembering the words of Winston Churchill, words my dad often quoted to me when I was growing up. In 1947, just after World War II ended, Churchill said, "Many forms of government have been tried and will be tried in this world of sin and woe. No one pretends that democracy is all perfect or all wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others that have been tried from time to time." Now, no one would claim that this covenantal community we call All Souls is perfect or all wise either. But our covenant matters because it unites us, even when hurt feelings, wounded pride, or serious disagreements would divide us. We share a dream of a world where black or white, whatever race you be, all will share the bounties of the earth and every man and woman shall be free. It's important to remember so close to this election that democracy doesn't exist for its own sake. It exists because it's the political expression of a spiritual ideal or existential truth. So when it feels like our democracy is failing us, it's essential that we remember the ideal or truth it represents and strives to embody. It's the same spiritual ideal we try to live up to together here in this congregation, that we are one human family, each connected to the other, all sharing a common origin and a common destiny. It's the same spiritual ideal we try to live up to together as a people of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I dream a world where man, no other man, will scorn, will love, will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. At All Souls, we are united because we choose to be so. Not because we are forced to be so or someone told us to be so. We are united because we agree to be. Not because we believe the same things or because we will vote the same way. We are united because we know on a very deep level that we need each other, and because we dare to dream of becoming one human family. Even President Lincoln despaired of this dream at times, writing in a letter in 1855, "Our progress in degeneracy appears to me to be pretty rapid. As a nation, we began by declaring all men are created equal. We now practically read it, all men are created equal except people of color. When the know-nothings get control, it will read all men and women are created equal except black people, foreigners, and Catholics. When it comes to this, I shall prefer emigrating to some country where they make no pretense of loving liberty, perhaps to Russia, for instance, where despotism can be taken pure and without the alloy of hypocrisy." Of course, Mr. Lincoln did not move to Russia. He stayed put and fought for freedom and for unity, just as we will, no matter who we're voting for and no matter who wins. We will stick it out because our democracy is an expression of a deeper truth which we practice daily by belonging to this covenanted community we call All Souls. You know our covenant. We repeat it every week. We seek the truth in love, meaning we ask love to guide us. In our church, we've had this idea of living according to a covenant agreement for quite a long time. In society at large, laws and the justice system take the place of a covenant, offering secular systems for repentance, repair, and a return to the fellowship of all good souls. But the theory has been tested more fully here over the last decade, as more LGBTQ people have joined the congregation, as more people who are more Christian than we were used to joined our congregation, and as people with varied and various skin tones also joined our congregation. The thing is, when more and more people hear themselves included in our vision and in our covenant, or when people insist they are included in our covenant until we can hear them, we are taking giant steps towards creating a congregation that more perfectly embodies the spiritual ideal and the possibility that we can all belong and do indeed belong to one human family. In this covenanted community, we have had women ministers, black ministers, gay ministers, ministers who are gay and black, and trans ministers. Year by year, we continue to embody our covenant more fully, and we have a dream that our country can too, because our nation has a covenantal spirit. Today, the dream of having a woman president is right within our reach. Why not also dream of having a gay president, a lesbian president, a Jewish president, a Muslim president, a trans president, an Asian president, a Latino president, a black female president, a Native American president? These dreams are powerful, not only because when one more is included, it becomes easier to imagine including one more. These dreams are powerful because they depend on us creating a country in which every child receives the education, the food, the housing, the transportation, the care, the support, and the attention necessary to be healthy and successful. What future leaders, engineers, inventors, problem solvers, politicians, doctors, artists, scientists, poets, and more are getting lost in our underfunded and understaffed schools and social service networks? We can't afford that. anymore. We need all our available brain and heart power to help us move our local communities and our nation forward. Which is why talking about the hard stuff today and tomorrow and on Wednesday and Thursday is healthy. Through this nightmare we've been living, the infection of all the isms in our nation's psyche are being pushed up and out. We know wounds need to be cleaned out before new, healthy, connective tissue can grow. It's not coincidental that race has become a major focus of our national dialogue after having a black president for the last 8 years. It's no accident that sexual assault and rape culture are a focus of our national dialogue today, when a woman is just a few steps away from the White House's front door. It's no surprise, really, that hundreds of clergy people representing many, many tribes all over this nation were gathering in Standing Rock this past week. The wounds in our collective American psyche are being opened up so that we can begin to heal. Our American covenant is being tested. If a woman is not elected, then women's full equality will not yet be fully realized. But we know too that if a woman is elected, realizing women's full equality will still require years and years of hard work. In a covenanted community, the most important question is not what do you believe or who are you voting for. The most important question is, what do your beliefs call you to do? And who do they call you to become? If you agree that democracy is an expression of a spiritual truth we are trying to embody here by living in a covenanted community, then you must first of all vote. In honor of all the women who ran for president, even before they had the right to vote, we must vote. And then we must continue to seek the truth in love. If and when you agree that democracy is an expression of a spiritual truth we are trying to embody by living in a covenanted community and country, then the most important question becomes, how will you seek the truth in love come Wednesday, no matter who wins? How will you seek the truth in love with the neighbors you know, with the family you have now, with the coworkers you have now, even with the enemies you have now, in the reality we will share then? Whatever the results, no matter who wins or loses, we will have work to do. We stand on the shoulders of giants, giant men and giant women. And as it was in the beginning, in the middle, and still is today, it is we the people who must make America, America again. We are not the first to dream, and thankfully, we will not be the last. Still, it is we the people who must dream of a world where man, no other man, will scorn. It is we the people who must dream of a world where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. It is we the people who must dream of a world where all will know sweet freedom's way. It is we the people who must dream of a world where greed no longer saps the soul nor avarice blights the day. It is we, the people, who must dream of a world where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth and every man and woman is free. It is we, the people, who must dream a world where wretchedness will hang its head and joy, like a pearl, attend the needs of all mankind. It is we, the people, who must make America, America again. Of such a world I dream and will never stop dreaming. Amen.
We are your church, and we are proud to be your church, or at least a church that's having a positive impact on your life. I am personally blessed to be your minister, or at least a minister who you're allowing to speak into your life. I hope you'll support our ministry and share your love beyond belief by texting LOVEBB to 41444 or go to our website. But you can just text LOVEBB to 41444 and make your gift. It's wonderful. Thank you. Be blessed and be a blessing.